and he squeezed and he squeezed. And I'm just laying there like, Lord, what is going on? I felt like I was in a movie. I felt like I was literally watching what's going on with me. Like, this man is really trying to kill me. And he squeezed and he squeezed and he didn't let me go until I spit blood in his face.
Oh, wow.
He did not let me go, okay? So this man has now choked me until the point where I'm dying. I was a medical assistant student, and I learned a lot about the body when the body is getting ready to transition. I had lost complete control of my body. Every time I took a breath, I'm coughing up blood everywhere. I got on my Waffle House uniform, so my whole shirt, Waffle House shirts back then were gray. My whole shirt was red with blood. My whole shirt is red, and I'm not standing up, I'm crawling because I was just on the floor. I can't get any air, so I crawled to the patio door, and I opened the patio door so I can try to get air because I'm suffocating. I'm every time I take a breath, I'm going to the bathroom on myself, and I'm dying. He's standing there, and his mother was a dispatcher for a police department in Georgia. He called her prior to coming to the house and told her that he was on the way to my house to kill me. She didn't take him seriously. So she called and asked him, she called his phone and asked him what was he doing. And he told her, I'm in here choking the SHIT out of Bridget.
Wow.
So he's basically in a straight deranged state of mind, and I'm dying. And she's on the phone. And, she's a dispatcher. She did not call the police.
What?
She talked to him and talked to him and talked to him and telling him, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And then a knock at the door comes. Is my daughter. My oldest daughter was 11 at the time. She's coming home from school in the middle of all this going on. So my neck is probably 4 sizes the normal size. After he squeezed it, I'm swollen up, I'm dying. And I go to the door on my knees and I open the door. And when I open the door, my child just began to scream. And the way my apartments was made, you had to walk in the building to get to my apartment. They wasn't just facing the outside. So nobody heard her. If anybody heard her, nobody did anything. But even in that situation, God turned it around. He tried to kill me that day, but he took me to the hospital. He drove me to the Cab Medical. I was able to get to the hospital and tell the doctors and the police exactly what he did to me before they had to put me in a coma to take care of me. I was in a coma for 30 days.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. I did not know all of that. Oh, my goodness, sis.
Right. So I'm just not out here, talking about this, just because I just wanted to write a book or I just want to be famous. I say it all the time. You can keep your fame. I'm trying to save lives. You understand what I'm saying? Because this man was he felt like if he couldn't have me, nobody else was going to have me. And he really was aiming to kill me on that day. On that day, I was in a coma for 30 days, in the hospital for 2.5 months. In the whole year of 2009, I was in and out the hospital. And some people see pictures of me and they see my teeth are missing because of all the work that I had to deal with surgically to help open my airway because he crushed my trachea.
Oh.
The doctor said that I would live with an artificial trach for the rest of my life. But since then, God, you understand?
That's right.
Since then, I breathe on my own. I do not live with an artificial trach. Since then, I have commercial driver's license. I was a truck driver. Since then, I've done so much more greater because I took time to start to work on me.
Yourself. Yeah. And that's the awesome, and that's the thing that we have to do. Those who of us are being abused or have been abused, we have to take the time to really dig into self so self can get healed. If self don't get healed, then we gonna continue to attract those people that abuse us, not just physically abuse, but verbal abuse, sexual abuse. You know what I'm saying? So
everything.
Yes, abuse is abuse.
Everything.
Abuse is
Everything.
Exactly. Abuse is abuse. Regardless of what kind of abuse it is. But I just want you to help the callers. Anything that you would like to say to help those who are going to abuse, because sometimes abuse is not just a man. Abuse can be a woman too. A woman can abuse.
Oh yes.
Women abuse their children by just the words they use.
And something that you said that's very true. Violence is a learned behavior. Mm-hmm. It came from somewhere, and it's something that has came up through the family. Mm-hmm. Like they saw this somewhere. Like that violent and controlling spirit is a generational curse. Mm-hmm. It's something that has cycled over and over, and it's nothing new. It's something that just repeats itself because somebody that learned that the way that you communicate with your woman is by hitting her. That's how you make her do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So that's how you do her. And then, like, if the sexual abuse, I've been in situations where people or men that were, supposedly men of God, who sexually abused me. You understand? I've been through all of this stuff. I haven't wrote the story yet. I know that, I felt God inspired me years ago to do a tour and tell my story because there's so many aspects to my story. One book could not hold it all. So that's why I write small books because that book is very small, but everybody that has read it tells me the same thing. That they was like, wow. Mm-hmm. At the end of that book, they was like, and you got some more to say? Oh my God! Like, are you serious? Like, and I had more. I'm telling you, it's probably a good 15 years of my life that I spent, just trying to find out who I was and thinking that I was going about things the right way. Not thinking that I was really doing anything wrong. I just felt like, I just needed to have love in my life. And some women, they just want to be loved so bad. They didn't get it at home, so guess what they do? They look for it in the street. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't see a bad example. My mother remarried, and she's still married to the same man 30 years later. I didn't learn that at home. You see, abuse comes in different ways. Like some people say you can see it, but you don't always see it. Sometimes it's apparent, it's not always visible.
Especially when you, like you said, you didn't know the signs of it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't grow up around abuse, so you not gonna see it. All you gonna see is a man being good to you and your kids, and that's how you was raised. And so, of course, some of us do not see abuse because we wasn't raised around it.
Right. And so, most bad guys, they look for women that are good girls. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The bad guys always want a good girl. They don't want a street girl.
And a good girl
street
like
girls, no game. Right, you know what I'm saying? And the science says opposites attract, and it's the same way in the real world. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we go for that bad boy because we want that excitement. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We want to. He's fun, you know what I'm saying? Or he funny, you know what I'm saying? And, oh, my God, I just love him. He good, he fun to be around. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I'm telling you, I've learned so much about life just from experience. Like, I got involved in things that my mother is a pastor, and she's like, I cannot believe you did all of that. And I did, all because it was times in my life in Atlanta, I did not want to go back home and say I messed up again. Oh, my God, I got to go back and say I messed up again. Oh, my God, I got to mess up again. But, I saw a video over the weekend from T.D. Jakes, and it said, T.D. Jakes made a statement. He said, I tell all of my children, I don't care how bad you mess up, come home.
Yes.
Don't ever get out there and tell yourself in your own mind that you done messed up so bad that you can not go back home. I dealt with a lot of situations because I did not want to go back home. That pride had got into my heart, and that shame and that guilt and all of those things that got into me because I knew I was not raised like that. I knew that was not the lesson that I was taught
Yeah.
And I knew better. You understand? But for some reason, I wasn't getting better. I was like, what am I doing, God? What am I doing? But until I stopped, like I was single for a long time. A long time. You know, a long time, because I just got to a place where I was tired.
Yeah.
I was just wore out with trying to fight that battle of even open. I wasn't a cold-hearted person, but I needed to heal. And last week, God said something to me very powerful in church, and I made a video about this, but God said to me, I asked God to renew my heart again because of the things, we deal with stuff in life every day. But God said to me, don't be a file cabinet, but be a shredder. Don't be a file cabinet, but be a shredder.
Shred that stuff.
In other words, don't keep a record of all this stuff that can happen to you just so you can file in the alphabetical order A, B, C, D. You got a record of all the hurt, all the pain. What you holding on to that for?
Exactly.
You need to shred that stuff. That's not serving you no purpose to hold on to the pain. So anybody that's listening to this broadcast, know that you can't heal from it if you're going to hold on to it. I give this analogy all the time. If you have a knife in your hand and you squeeze that knife and you keep squeezing and you holding on tight to that knife, guess what it's going to do? It's going to cut you. And you standing there looking at this knife saying, oh my God, it hurts so bad. Oh, it hurts so bad. Oh, it hurts so bad. And you know what you have to do to get over that pain is let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
And until you let it go, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
And like I said again, sis, your book is very powerful. And I know this is not it. I know that it's gonna heal so many people, not just women's, but children. Because you had children at the time of the abuse. And so they too have to be healed from that.
Absolutely. That's one thing that ladies have to really consider when you have children. I have a friend of mine, she is gone on to heaven, and she died from cancer, but she told me that it was one year, she just sat me down and she said, Bridget, you can't keep putting your kids around all these different men.
I agree.
You can't keep putting your kids around all these different men and you trusting these men to be around your kids, they can hurt your daughters. They could do anything to your children, and you just leaving your kids around all these men. You can't keep doing that, And I heard her for the first time, really speak to my heart, because she was just, it moved me to tears, because just to think about, I have 2 daughters and a son. And for the most part, my daughters were with me most of the time. My son spent a lot of time with his dad, my ex-husband. But in Atlanta, I had my girls. And it just really would hurt me so bad to know that something happened to my daughters. And, even on last week, it's a young lady, 12 years old, they found her dead, because a pedophile had killed her down here in Pensacola, Florida, which is not that far from Mobile. It's probably 20 minutes from Mobile. 12 years old, this child was found dead because a pedophile was living in her neighborhood and killed her.
Oh,
you understand?
Goodness. And that's, oh my goodness. Oh, girl.
And it's just, we cannot take for granted and have our children around all these different men. You don't know the man. You don't know nothing about him. And I used to tell my mama that my mama was just nosy. But I learned you better ask questions. A man that really care about you don't mind you getting in his business. Because if you're going to be a part of that man's life, he's not going to ever mind sharing his life with you.
Exactly.
Ever. He's not going to ever mind you being a part of what he does or knowing what he does. He won't have anything to hide. You understand? Real love does not hide.
Not at all.
It's not scary. It's not, hiding in the corner saying, I got to love you in the corner. I can't tell nobody. No, that God does not hide when he loves us. He sent Jesus out in the open and died on the cross. You understand?
Yeah.
For us, in the open in front of everybody, he took open shame for all of us. So therefore, real love don't hide.